Okay, Ralph, 2 years as Southampton manager, celebrating that anniversary. Um, it feels like so much has happened in that 24 months. How do you sum up that time and what it's meant to you?
Meant a lot to me. Really means definitely uh, 2 intensive years with a lot of games, a lot of very good moments, also some not so nice moments. But this is part of our business, and in the end, I think it took longer to come in the situation. I hope that we come earlier in, that we are a really competitive team and are able to, yeah, to climb in the table and not to play in the relegation zone. And I think it was tough to change our mentality. It was tough to change our behaviors, our way we want to play. But now we are on a good way, and hopefully we stay on this way.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about changing the way of playing. And I went and looked up one of the quotes that you gave to us in your first interview back on day one, 2 years ago. And you said it'll be a long journey that we have, an intensive one, but also a very emotional one and one that we can enjoy. I just thought 2 years on, how do you feel that journey has gone so far?
Yeah, it was emotional, definitely. Yeah, we had a lot of very emotional moments, fantastic moments. What I didn't expect is that we play half a year without our fans. This is not definitely nothing anybody expected, I think. And I'm very happy when they are coming back and step by step, because this is the special thing in the Premier League, that you have the atmosphere in the stadium. And this is definitely something we are all hoping that is coming back. A lot of things happened in these last 2 years. It feels for me that I'm even longer here now, but I don't have a feeling that I get tired of what I'm doing here, and this is a good signal for me. I had so much fun with this job. It's so enjoyable to work with all the people here, with the staff, with my chairman, with the people that are working with my team. So as I mentioned when I extended my contract, I am very happy here. I really love my job here, and this is part of this journey, is to be always motivated and try to do the best for this club, and I am definitely.
Yeah, how's it compared with your expectations that you had when you came in 2 years ago?
I mean, the expectations are difficult to explain, because when I was coming here, the most important thing is to keep the team in the league. So it was the only goal we had is to be above the line in the end of the season. We managed this, and in the next season, after a difficult start, we ended up in position 11. So we could see the progress, but we had still moments in the season where we were played awful. And this is now, it seems to be gone more and more. It seems that we are more and more consistency in our performances, and that gives us more chances for developing. I mean, we are not a team that develop with signings. We sign players; they have to learn and take time until they can help us. We are more a team that develops in working on the pitch and in getting new habits and behaviors. And it takes sometimes a little bit longer, but in the end, then it also is more based and more on the built on a good fundament, and lasts hopefully for longer.
And as you've got to know the club over that period and the club's got to know you as well, how well do you feel that the two philosophies have worked together and come to fit with each other?
Yeah, I mean, they know my history. I think I showed that I can play or work with young players also, that I can develop these players. And if they're open-minded, they will definitely be better players if they are following us. And this combination, I think, was from the first moment on a very a combination with potential. And this is why both are convinced to go this way. If you think you are in a club that buys every season new players for 100 million, I think then you would be wrong here as a manager. But if you know what you are getting from the club, then you can work with it, and then it is very enjoyable, and then it is something that you can really be proud of if you still be successful and still manage to be competitive with teams they spend much more money than you do, but you do it with a different way. It takes sometimes a little bit longer, but then you can also be a very strong opponent.
You spoke as well about a number of months playing without supporters in the stadium, which I know obviously has been difficult for you and all the players and everybody. But that relationship that you've built with the supporters over these 2 years that you've been here, how have you found that, and how would you sum that up?
I mean, I always try in every club when I was working to have a good relationship to them, to give them what they really want to see in a stadium. And I was the first very disappointed man when it didn't work like I want to see them, because I always, I disappointed them, and this is what I hate the most. I want to give them positive emotions, good weekends. I know how it feels to go to bed and know that your team has won, and wake up in the next morning and know that you have beaten the opponent and stand in a good position at the table. That gives you a lift, everybody, and this is what I want to give them. And I'm the first who is really disappointed when I cannot do it. So I think they feel that it means something to me that I'm here in this club. It should mean something for everybody who is here in this club, that he's allowed to work here and to give back what we have to. A lot of passion and a lot of intense work, and to make everybody better here. And I think this is what I tried to show from the first moment on, and what I will do until the last day when I'm here.
So I'm giving you any time to think about this, so it's probably slightly unfair to ask, but if you could pick out a couple of most important matches or moments in your 2 years at the club that have sort of defined it for you, are there a couple that you'd be able to pick?
Yeah, I mean, the first win was a big one. It was important. Then the coming back after the defeat against Cardiff at home, where we conceded 2 goals in the last one in the overtime and lost this game, and suddenly we're below the line and still a long way to go to be safe in the league. I think this was a nasty moment. Then sure, also the 0-9 in the last season. And what happened afterwards, I think this is a situation I've never had in my management. It's normal that it has a big impact in my history. And what happened afterwards, that we are now, since then, I think the 4th best team in the league since then, is something you can be proud of. That is something you made with a few decisions you have taken to that time. And yeah, maybe a turnaround you don't get very often as a manager. Normally, the next manager gets this turnaround, not you. If you have the chance to do it and you do it like this, then you can be proud of. And this is something that I'm really proud of, and this is something that I will take for the future also. And it gives me a massive experience that helps definitely.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I know obviously that fans and everybody associated with Southampton are fed up every time the team plays of hearing about that scoreline. But what's happened since then has been so impressive. Just kind of interested to know, I suppose, just how important that initial period after that game was, even those initial hours, the first day or so, in terms of what was going through your head and how you were able to move on from there, and then, you know, move into this incredible period that the team has been having.
Yeah, I remember that it was a tough time. It was, the nights were not nice. You go to bed with problems and you wake up with problems, and you see only issues everywhere. Then it takes a lot of energy from you, and it costs a lot of energies. But I think the good thing is that you, like in a chess game, when you're in a very, very bad position, you're still thinking about what is the solution, how can I come out of this? And if you don't stop doing this, I think then you always focus on the solve of the issue and not on the issue themselves. And this is what in the end is then turn this negativity in a positive energy, and then you can still find the right decisions. And this is what we have done to that moment. And it was good that we then got the results what we needed to come out there.
You've had plenty of victories since then. Are there any in particular that stand out for you?
Definitely, yes. I mean, the win against Man City, I've never won against Guardiola before. I mean, with one of my teams. So it was a massive win, definitely. Also, so games like now this season against Burnley or Newcastle, we have lost the last season every game against them, and then suddenly you see that you have found the right way to play against such teams. Gives you a massive lift, definitely.
And just the, I guess, final question: when you look at these last 2 years and the foundation that you've been able to build here, how well does that stand you as a team and a club now for moving into the future?
Yeah, I mean, we have definitely a long way to go now. We are in a good position now, but it's not the time to look for the end result. The key is that we still try to get better, and we have still some parts in our game that we must always give the right messages. And immediately when you see this is not the right way to go, change it and turn it and do something different. We are flexible. We should be flexible also in the future. We have learned that it is good to always ask yourself the biggest question if everything is all right, if everything is perfect, because in the success you make the biggest mistakes. And don't lean back and don't think everything goes easily. So Premier League is never easy. And when we are still focused and still hungry and stay hungry, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be successful in the future.